なるとマイクみたいになりたい。でも電話してくれない。オークランドとブックレンドから世界チャンピオンバーチャルプローズ始まるよ。バーチャルプローズ。
To my motherfucking man, 50 grand, the alcoholic man, inject a tall can in his bloodstream if he can. Biggie Smalls, the 50 stroker, MC provoker, chocolate tie smoker. I like to max and Maximas and Acuras. Your girl butt cheeks, I'm smacking. The raw rapper, spine snapper with the little, cause all my lap a shot, the ball, I ain't your fucking comforter. And if I ever fall in love, I bet I'm fucking her. Ask the if I didn't shook her. If she try to front, then
Episode 55 of the World Champion Sound Virtual Pros Podcast. My name is Al, a.k.a. Henny Omega, a.k.a. the Bandman, a.k.a. Bougie Nagata, a.k.a. Two-Phone Scorpio, a.k.a. Super Brazy, a.k.a. you pronounce the name, Kai. Any questions? And with me, one half of the Holy Scheming Army, one half of Blemolition, one half of the Heavenly Thotties, one half of the Bread Hunters, my main oos, Mike.
Hey, what's up, motherfuckers? It's Mike, a.k.a. Wreath Slater, a.k.a. Frosty the Owl Snowman, a.k.a. Saint Nick Bockwinkel, a.k.a. Akira Mistletoezawa. That's for Christmas.
All new lineup. I like it. Topical. Today's topic, year 2017 Holiday Buyer's Guide. What's a cop? What's a drop? The tastemakers of this grap shit fill you in on how to spend your hard-earned dollars this holiday season. Email us at virtualpros64@gmail.com if you want to participate. Add us on Twitter and Instagram at VRTLPros. Hit us on SoundCloud. Hit that heart. You know I like it. Subscribe to us on iTunes. Leave a 5-star review, please. And if you haven't already, download that Bloody Disgusting podcast app. Have all 55 episodes in the palm of your hands. Mike, we got some emails. You mind starting off with the first one?
Sure. I believe the first one was from Jay Riley. I'm just Jay. It's entrance masks. He says, what's the official hierarchy ranking of entrance masks? Mask on an unmasked wrestler, aka AJ Styles, Mirofuji, Magnum Tokyo. Mask on a once masked but now unmasked wrestler, Benoit in this week's mixtape match with and Psychosis. Mask on a masked wrestler, Ray, Vader, maybe Luchadors. Mask on a painted wrestler, Asuka, Muda, Demolition. Have a good holiday. See you at number 55. Jay, a.k.a. Berlinetta Hot Boxer. P.S. Thanks for not spoiling the post-match promo from the Jurassic Powers, which was even better than the pre-match. That's right. I think mask on a painted wrestler is number one. Then I would go number two, just regular masked wrestlers. Mask on a masked wrestler is weird. He gave examples. The only one I can think of is Bushi, but I think that's dumb, actually. I think it's dumb when they have two masks. Yeah, it's dumb. So that's last. And masked on an unmasked wrestler would be second to last for me.
Yeah, we're kind of on the same wave here. Mask on a painted wrestler looks great. Like, Hayabusa's one. Asuka's one. Who else does this? Yeah, this has to be number one.
I believe you could do that.
Pentagon, right?
I believe you could do that in Virtual Pro Wrestling too, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe you can't.
Yeah, I don't know if you can double layer. I do like mask inside of a mask, like a babushka doll. I'm into that. That's my number two. Magnum Tokyo, near and dear to my heart. 3. Mask on a once masked but now unmasked wrestler. Yeah, that might be the last one, dude. Like, if you don't have your mask anymore, you're kind of washed. So, those are my power rankings. Up next is from, so many fucking orders. Next up is from Herb, titled Rumble Picks. Wagwan Pros, it's your man Smash Adams, aka 7-Eleven Turf Burrito, aka Reef Lee, aka Minoru Suzuki, aka Smoker T, aka Sleazy Ray, aka Theodore Bong, aka Hayabusa, aka Crypto Reefer. All right, come on, Herb. Anyways, who y'all got for the Rumble, and who do y'all think is gonna be? Who do y'all think is the biggest bust on the main roster in NXT? Peace. Looking forward to everyone rocking Stay Woke shirts in Nolans. I think Nakamura's gonna win it. Personally, to set up that match with AJ. That's just my hunch. Biggest bust on the main roster. I thought they'd do a lot more with Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, but I mean, they're like in a food
They
fight
weren't in
on
NXT,
Halloween.
man.
You said main roster and NXT, motherfucker.
Oh, I thought he meant the biggest bust that came up from NXT.
Well, I mean, to answer that question, I mean, it'd be hard pressed to argue that it's not Hideo Itami, even though like a lot of that shit was like very fluky. But I mean, that might have to be the biggest bust, like NXT to main roster, and he's going to 205 Live, which is like an even bigger bummer.
I also think Nakamura's going to win the Royal Rumble unless Daniel Bryan comes back from his brain injury, which he's not going to, but otherwise definitely Nakamura, because it has to be a SmackDown guy, and who else are they going to have win? Baron Corbin? Like, I don't know. So it has to be Nakamura. Biggest bust, of course, Apollo Crews, because it haunts me to this day.
Shit. That's right.
And NXT, I don't know, man. No Way Jose was pretty hot for a minute, and he's just like disappeared. I don't know. Honestly, the biggest bust are Buddy Murphy, the team, because like those dudes were like really good tag team champions, and now they're not even on TV anymore, and they've been in NXT for like 7 years.
Damn, it's a pretty good one too.
Next up is from the old Shot Glass, aka RTF, FTW. Whoop Whoop, as always, is titled. What up, Wicked Pros? Straight up, there are some scary dudes in wrestling. In a bar fight, what active wrestler would you pick to be on your side? I'd go with Masada, pound for pound. I think he's the most insane ninja out there, and he legitimately scares the shit out of me. Stay up, Shot Glass, aka I'm high on weed. I would probably go with Nick Gage, because even though he's not the biggest guy, he looks like, you know, he loves to fight in bars. And I've also seen him very bloody and gross, and it doesn't seem to bother him that much. And that's what really makes people scary to me. Like, after going to a couple of those deathmatch shows and just seeing those guys just like after they're done, just like kind of chilling, like it's no big deal. That's pretty scary. Like, at least in my mind before that, I was just like, oh man, they're hurting for years. Like, they're probably hurting for months over that. But no, it's like 5 minutes later, and it's like it never happened. And so I've seen him in
Nick Gage was like, yeah, good.
Yeah, but that's what I've seen him in that state. So that's pretty much it.
Nick Gage was like my number one too, man. Like, I've seen those promos. The man's done time. Yeah. Like, I don't think he's like new to like fighting in groups, man. So he'd be my number one draft pick. If Nick Gage wasn't on the table, if he was already drafted, I mean, you probably have to go with like Matt Riddle, because that fool can for real fight. Maybe Brock.
Yeah, definitely Brock.
Those would be my boys. Yeah, if we had a fight in a bar or some shit. Next up is from Keith, titled Ghoul Traditions. Long time, first time. What are some deathmatch traditions you would like to see brought back into modern day ghoul fighting landscape? I know you can't do this shit anymore, but I miss the general uneasiness and unpredictability that animals would bring to a war. Piranhas, spiders, snakes, etc. Bring back scorpions 2018. Also, what are some new ghoul innovations that make you uncomfortable or squeamish? For me, it's Masahashi Takeda and Jaki Numazawa taking X-Acto knives and doing lariats or straight slices across their chests. Knives gives me the creeps, because we know how sharp those fucking blades can be. Thanks, Nuclear Bummer, a.k.a. Flocka Michinoku. That's mine, motherfucker. A.k.a. Aja Bong. That's not mine. That's tight. A.k.a. Blaine Kanemura, a.k.a. Tommy Creamer. Yeah, man, you kind of took my answers. I mean, I really do think that bugs in 2018 would be a hot ticket item. If that was off the table, I mean, I do miss pools. Like, if AIW decides to have that match on a barge, I don't know, man. Pools of water and wrestling seem like a pretty natural fit. But yeah, man, for me, like, the X-Acto knives, it's a little too much. Gusset plates are really gross too. And whatever those things are called, that are used by carpenters to install carpet, I think they're called something drips. I don't know what they're called. Anytime I see that shit, not good. Oh, I take that back. I take all those answers back. Syringes, I'm hard pass. I'm closing the window if I see a syringe. Like, please don't troll me about this, but no, can't do it.
Yeah, we had a match on the mixtape where they used X-Acto knives, and it was pretty grody. I think it was this match he mentioned, actually.
Right.
As far as I do agree, they should bring back scorpions. This podcast ruined piranhas for me because everybody said they were fake. They don't do anything, so I don't want to see any more piranha matches. But scorpions would be cool. Honestly, like any bugs, just like a whole just a big crate of bugs, just like a big tub of them. Right. Dumpster bug match. Just put a bunch of bugs in a dumpster. Throw somebody in there. That's worse than Exacto Knives, honestly. As far as things to bring back, they don't do, I don't know why, but they don't do spider net, aka circus nets anymore. I don't ever see those in matches. Not that they're like that brutal, but no one really ever does them anymore. As far as modern innovations, we had another match on the mixtape I think it was from Big Japan, that concrete floor death match, or maybe that was Freedom.
Yeah.
And it was okay. It was kind of brutal, but I watched like the most recent GCW cards over the Thanksgiving break, and they do Matt Tremont, Nick Gage. Speaking of Nick Gage, they do a fucking concrete canvas match, and it's way more brutal. Like they're not like that match we watched. They're like making sure they didn't hit their knees too hard on the thing and like slam each other. But these dudes are just going for it, and it's pretty tough to watch. So after that, I changed my mind on those concrete canvas matches. Also, GCW has a match coming up. I don't know what it entails, but it's just called a meat grinder death match. So I'm looking forward to that. I think GCW might be my favorite promotion right now. They got a lot of good stuff coming up. A lot of good gross stuff.
Yo, were you serious about those? Were you serious about those fish hooks being used in someone's mouth? Was that for real?
Yeah. They did a spot where Nick Gage puts the dude on the top rope and puts a fish hook in his mouth and takes the fishing pole and like pulls him off with the fishing pole. I think it was a little faked, but I mean that hook was really in his mouth. That was not faked.
I hate this.
I've gotten a fishing hook stuck in the web of my like thumb and finger, and that sucked. Yeah. I can't even imagine in the mouth. Ugh.
You got next.
Next is from Chris, I assume, or Cristobal. I don't know if he wants his whole name saved, but it's too late now. Not that long time, first time. You ever check out Hood Slam in Oakland? If so, what did you think? I personally love the party atmosphere, gimmicks, and storylines. Chris, aka Trill Osprey, aka Rob Van Dab, aka Kenny Dromega, aka Dr. Wave Schultz.
I guess this is for me because Mike's never been to Oakland, to my knowledge. I've been to a couple Hood Slam shows. It's not for me. They do this one thing that I hate, which is like they'll have someone on the PA like call the match while it's going on, and I hate that. Plus, like in Oakland, it's only done on First Fridays, so a lot of out of towners come in. And like they're all kind of dorky. And
so
awkward.
Is Hood Slam? Hood Slam is still a thing that happens. It's like still an active promotion.
Yeah. They run shows every First Friday in Oakland, and I think they're expanding to like other like Northern California cities.
What is First Friday in Oakland? I know here it's like in Albany First Friday. I think is only in the summer. So is that every Friday there?
Yeah, it is actually. It seems like. I mean sometimes they won't run it.
Every month. Is it every month there?
Yeah, it's every month. Okay. First Friday.
Huh.
Yeah, it's like where like people will sell their wares, like all the art galleries are open and shit. Like it's just an excuse to get drunk in public.
Yeah.
Which is cool and all, but I mean, I don't know. I live like right by where it's held, and it gets kind of annoying and trying after a while. I don't know, man. Hood Slam is like, it's fine, but like the calling of the match like via the PA, and they do shit like, oh, here comes Ryu and Ken from Street Fighter. Remember these dudes? And I'm like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Like, as a project that like fetishizes 90s wrestling, like you gotta be a little more slick with it than that to like get me up for it. I mean, if you're into it, cool. But for me, it's just not it.
Man, for something that's still going on, it's been going on for a while. I never see anything about it, like ever. I never see anybody tweeting about it or anything.
Yeah, I mean, it's still going on. People check it out. Like those lines are out the door. Like they're doing good. Like don't listen to me about shit. Like, it's just not for me. Next up is from Deo, titled "Now I Can Understand Why Most Wrestling Dorks Divergence." All caps. God damn, Deo. What's happening, Vertbags? Last month I went to APW at the Cow Palace in SF. By the way, Al, I was super bummed I didn't get to meet you at the show. Yo, I'm gonna chime in here. Blame Joel to sleep. He didn't want to go with me. We didn't pay for one beer that night because my Tio works at the beer booth there. We could have been getting faded, man. Shit, maybe I should have went. Anyways, I went with my best friend, his wife, and my girl. My boy taught the girls how to too sweet people because he thought it'd be funny and knew it was going to annoy the shit out of me. The girls were having fun with it, running around the arena, sweeting random dudes and laughing afterwards until we got in Pentagon Jr.'s merch line. My boy's wife tried to sweet some dork with a replica belt on his shoulder in front of us. And instead of doing it back to her, he started quizzing her on Bullet Club and NWO members. I couldn't believe it. I hella wanted to quiz him on if he knows what a vagina feels like. Bro, in the merch line, if you're listening, when a girl comes up to you at a wrestling show, don't immediately bring up some dork shit that you think is important. Most females do not care about how much useless wrestling knowledge you have. Just be nice to them. Jesus, Al, Mike, Dots. As always, peace and love. Deo, a.k.a. Macho Man 21 Savage, a.k.a. Jake the Trouser Snake Roberts, a.k.a. me and William Regal in a Buick Regal trapping like the Migos. Yeah, dude, like, I think we saw someone tweet a while back about how, like, some dude was, like, questioning, like, win-loss records and shit, like, trying to, like, check her nerd stripes. Yeah. Am I surprised by this? No, not at all. I mean, he had a replica belt, man. It's just kind of like a litmus test. Like, yeah, I'm not surprised at all.
It sure is. It reminds me, I remember, like, maybe it was like I don't even know, it might have been this year. Cole Cabana told a story on his podcast. And this is weird because, like, I know some people think he's a dick and whatever, but he seems like a decent guy. Like, he seems like he's pretty grounded and he knows what wrestling is and he's not a dork about it. But, like, he was saying, like, something on his podcast how he, like, made fun of some girl at like an independent show for wearing, like, a Nikki Bella shirt or something. And I thought that was kind of weird. So if he does it, then of course some fucking nerd with a belt's gonna do it.
Damn, man, let's just be all inclusive about merchandise. I don't know. Yeah, chill out.
Seriously. He apologized for it. Like, he was like, I don't know what I was thinking. That was dumb. But yeah, like, I don't know, quizzing girls is fucking weird as hell.
Yo, before I too sweet you, who was the 7th entrant in the fucking NWO roster? Like, I need to know these questions. Oh, not really, but I mean, man, what a fucking scenario, right?
Yeah.
Let's just do better, wrestling fans. Actually, I take that back. You can make fun of all Bullet Club t-shirt wearers. That's all good. That was the last email, right?
Yep.
We'll start 2 minutes scramble. First and foremost, I want to thank everyone that purchased our latest long sleeve drop, the 2nd anniversary. Sangre de Renati. I was really, really stunned by the response. Like, a lot of people initially were like, who is that? I don't know who that is. I'll still cop. And, like, it's kind of good and bad. Like, I'm glad that you fuck with us so heavy to buy shirts of people you don't know. I mean, I think it's like on its own a great t-shirt, in my opinion. But like I said, just want to thank everyone for everyone's support. And hopefully those shirts go out soon.
Yeah, they're taking a little longer than usual if you're listening to this in real time, because usually I would have them by now and I'd be shipping them out by now. But I think it's just like All Style. For whatever reason, it takes forever to get their shirts now. So it's just taking a little while longer than usual. So unfortunately, hopefully you'll get them by Christmas. I would assume so, but I don't fucking control the mail, so I can't make that promise.
It's that, and probably like a bunch of people are like making holiday merch, I'm assuming. Yeah. Hopefully you get them sooner rather than later. My next topic. I recently caught my tickets for Mania. Mike, where you at for Virtual Con NOLA?
I really can't do it, but I was on the fence, but I just can't do it. I'm going to NXT TakeOver in Philadelphia for a Royal Rumble weekend, so that's the closest I'm getting.
Fuck, I'm hella jealous. I've never been to a Rumble. I've never been to Philadelphia. I do want to go to Mania, but I don't know if I can make it out to Philadelphia in the dead of winter, it seems like.
Well, I don't
know, maybe we'll see.
To be clear, I'm not going for Royal Rumble. Those tickets are sold out. But
oh, for real?
I'm only going for TakeOver because TakeOver has never disappointed me ever. So I feel like it's a worthy investment. And it's way, I mean, it's not way cheaper, but it's definitely fairly cheaper than TakeOver in Brooklyn, so it works out.
Yeah, speaking of bootleg Virtual Con events, the Great Muta is going to be in Southern California next month. And I'm kind of wondering if I should drive alone for 6 hours to meet the legend.
We'll see. Bring a box of toys like that video you put on the mixtape.
Yeah. I'm gonna bring a lot of inflatable hands of him doing the fucking like Shaka sign. And I'm just gonna be like, sign all 57 of these items, please, KG.
That's a good topic, actually.
I'll call him by his first name.
So I assume he's just gonna show up like a guy, like he's gonna be wearing jeans and maybe a shirt or a sweater. Would you rather him be like in full Great Muta attire?
Yeah, of course, man. If he's like willing to put on the hood and like the sparkly robe, I would much rather prefer that than him wearing like he'd be rocking some bathing ape. That'd be kind of cool to see him in. I don't know. Either or, I'll take it. I do want to meet that man. We'll see. Next topic. This is like kind of a personality test, and I know it's like really late to do this 2 years into this fucking show, but like I'm surprised I've never asked. How do you rank All Japan Pro Wrestling's 4 pillars?
Like in order of guys?
In order of like how you like them, like 1 to 4. Like who's your favorite? So who's your least favorite?
It's probably controversial because I would go Kawada, Masawa, Kibashi, and Taue. That's
I think everyone has Taue last. Yeah, I think a lot of people have Masawa first. I don't have him first. For me, I have it Kibashi, Kawada, Masawa, and Taue.
Not to get too dorky about it.
I've always been a Kibashi guy. Let's get dorky about it.
I don't want to get too dorky about it, but I would be looking at it like when that was a thing, though, because I think Kibashi became more prominent like way after that. So that's what kind of puts him a little lower for me.
I just like his moves, man. Burning Hammer, powerbomb into the turnbuckle. It's fucking crazy. He's so good. My last topic. I know like you were a huge fan of this, like maybe last year. So I thought I'd get your take on it. How are you taking this Matt Hardy redirection? And what's your anticipation levels for Woken Hardy versus Bray Wyatt?
I am fucking pumped. I saw the first thing so far, and I'm still into it. I don't have the highest of hopes for it. I do think pairing him up with Bray Wyatt is the best possible scenario for him because he basically is Bray Wyatt except goofy, and Bray Wyatt's super serious, so it's just going to make Bray Wyatt look even more like a jackass. And that's I'm just like, I know deep down that Vince McMahon doesn't understand that humor though, so he probably thinks Matt Hardy's being serious. So like, I don't know. I don't have the highest of hopes, but I'm enjoying it while it's still good at least.
I've been accused by friend of the show, Wealth, of having no fun with wrestling. And I wasn't a fan of this at all when it happened in TNA. Well, mostly because I didn't watch TNA. But kind of anticipating these next couple of weeks with this angle. It should be really silly. Yeah. We'll see what happens. That was my last topic.
Man, what a weak bunch of topics.
Damn, okay.
Let me try to see what I should start. The first one is just a random question I had. One of our followers, that Hisame woman that I gave Instagrammer of the week, I think last episode, she always posts stuff about Noah. I don't pay attention to Noah. She posts a picture of this Japanese man that wrestles for Noah, and he has a blonde swoop haircut. Do you know who this guy is?
I think his name is Keno.
Oh, okay. Have you seen his matches or anything? Do you have a profile on him?
I do not. The only thing I saw of that guy is he did a dragon suplex on someone off the top rope, a la Kenny Omega, Kazuchika Okada, and it looked real fucked up. So maybe I'll peep. Like the last thing I saw from Noah was that Brian Cage Nakajima match. Okay. So I haven't been really keeping track of Noah these days.
Well, I think he has really cool hair, and I wish him nothing but the best. I hope it works out for him. That's all I had for him. Instagrammer of the week. It's been long overdue. I'm going to give it to the old Border Boss RIP. That's all one word, Border Boss RIP. That's also AK Scott. He usually has a helping hand in a lot of our shirts. And he has an Instagram where he just posts all the eggs he eats. And I'm into that kind of content. So follow him if you like eggs, if you like looking at photos of eggs, if you like looking at videos of eggs, he's your man. So follow Scott. Okay, next.
Thank you, Scott, by the way. Your phone call for episode 50 always makes me laugh. With you buying the motorcycle, cracks me the fuck up.
Big news that happened this week, or last week, or whenever it was. Jim Johnston got let go from WWE. And when it first happened, I was just, this is kind of two parts. This is a two-parter for you, Al. when it first happened, I was like, oh, he's kind of old. Maybe he just retired. That's not the case. He didn't retire. According to Dave Meltzer, he wanted to stay, but his contract was just too big, and he hasn't really made any good songs in the last, 15 years. So they let him go. How do you feel about this, Al? Do you think they should have kept him? Do you think his time was up? What do you think?
I mean, respect to the legend, but like, when's the last time he made a slapper?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, for those of you who don't know Jim Johnston's career, he's made WWF and WWE's entrance music since 1985. So he's basically done every single huge hit from the 80s and 90s and early 2000s that you could remember. And then after that, he kind of just farmed out his ideas to like shit rock bands. And like Randy Orton's song and like Edge's song. Those are just like all bands performing like his music. And then CFO Dollar Sign came and kind of took his thunder, and he just stopped making good songs. I think, his time has come. I'm hoping that, they paid him enough money where he could live for good. Like, he doesn't have to work anymore. I'm hoping. I don't know. I mean, he did get hired in 1985. There's a possibility he just had a shitty contract since then. But, I do think if they don't put him in the Hall of Fame this year, they're real assholes. They should at least give him a Hall of Fame. He's responsible for a lot of big moments in wrestling. So the second part is it has become in vogue for old like soundtrack music writers and composers and bands to come back and do tours. Like Goblin does them, and John Carpenter, of course, and they play shows and they play all of their soundtrack music, their classic hits. And I saw the first Goblin show in New York, and to be honest, I was really bored. I was like, this is kind of some boring shit. I paid a lot of money for these tickets. I'm just watching a bunch of old people play soundtrack music. This is way less cool than I thought it would be. But Al, I'm asking you, if Jim Johnston came out, I don't think he's legally allowed to do this, but if he came out and he had like a full, like, not just a full 4 or 5 piece band, but like a full 12-piece band, like fucking all guitars, bass, drums, 2 different kinds of drums, 3 different kinds of drums, backup singers, keyboardists, like any kind of instrument he would need, a horn section. And he just played like all the biggest WWF and WWE hits. Would you go see that?
No.
You want to go see that?
Dude, you're telling me like I'd have to like go with someone. I'm like, hey, are you free Friday? Do you want to see an orchestral version of Razor Ramon's theme? Like, no one's gonna want to go to that, dude.
Dude, people go to see fucking nerds play video game music in real life.
That's not me. I'm not going to see Final Fantasy Wars. I think it's fine and all, but I'm dropping for real money. Like, why do you think that's so absurd? Like, what theme song would you want to be seeing played by a 12-piece band?
I don't know, man. Stone Cold's theme, fucking Demolition theme, Mr. Perfect theme, Razor Ramon's theme. There's so many, man. Fucking Ted DiBiase. Oh my god. With all backup singers doing the money. Oh my god, that would be fucking amazing. You're nuts, Al. I would pay $50 for this ticket. $50, no questions asked.
Yo, Bloody Disgusting. If you're listening, maybe sponsor us to like go to this show if it happens. Other than that, no way, dude. I'd have to go alone.
I think it would be like a hip enough thing where like normal casual people, like they wouldn't know about it, but if you told them about it, they would be down to go, I think.
I don't think so. Well, I will add on to this that I thought like CFO Dollar Sign and the E were beefing, so I was kind of shocked that they let Double J go, but I guess they're on good terms again. That's what I read on the internet, but whatever.
Yeah. Okay. Next is, well, we'll see how long this goes. So the Young Bucks announced, or not the Young Bucks, well, Young Bucks and Cody Rhodes and the Bullet Club, the white people in the Bullet Club, not the other people in the Bullet Club, but all the whites announced that they're gonna actually put together and book a wrestling show in a 10,000 seat arena. And most people are saying this is not going to happen. They're not going to fill out 10,000 seats. What do you think, Al? Do you think they're going to fill out 10,000 seats?
I wasn't clear about this entire event. Like, are they going to run Mania weekend, or it's just going to be like this isolated event on like a whatever?
It's an isolated event. They don't know when it is. It's probably going to be later 2018. They said that they have it probably narrowed down to either Chicago, London, I think LA and then Ontario, California, which I'm not familiar what that is, but yeah, so those are like the 4 spots they're thinking about doing it at.
Man, I hate talking about attendance, but if it's a one-off and it's like advertised as some kind of like bullet con, I wouldn't be shocked if they did pull it off. The thing is that like, okay, all Bullet Club wrestlers, right? Who are they going to wrestle? Each other? It's just, are they just going to wash everyone that they like invite? Like, I don't know. The logistics of it sound kind of crazy, but I mean, if it's a one-off and 10K, I don't know.
Well, that's the thing. I think it's highly unlikely, but I fucking pumped for them to try to do this because that means they're going to pull out all the stops. The CM Punk's going to be on this thing. Daniel Bryan's going to be on this thing. Like, it's going to be, they're going to do like Okada Omega in America. Like, it's just going to be an insane card for them to try and even attempt 10,000. So I hope it happens. I mean, I don't care if they get 10,000. No, I'm never check. But if this is something they're filming, I really hope it happens just to see how nuts they go. If it is really just like them versus each other or them versus a bunch of bums, they're fucking idiots.
That's how I mean, like, if they do get CM Punk, then sure, 10,000, whatever. But I mean, it's going to end up being like Kenny Omega versus Keith Lee. Like, I can guarantee it. Like, there's no other way, I think.
Yeah, and then I'm looking forward to either seeing it happen, because that would be just amazing to see something like that get 10,000, or I'm really looking forward to seeing what 1,000 people look like in a 10,000 seat arena. Because like anytime I would watch like they would show like old USFL games on ESPN Classic, or like when they had that NFL competitor a few years ago and they showed their games on TV, and it would just be like 1,000 people in a whole football arena. That shit looks cool as hell. So I'm looking forward to seeing that effect in wrestling.
We'll see. What do you think draws more, this Bullet Club show or the Jericho Cruise?
Man, I don't know. Well, I don't know how many people can you hold on a cruise? Like 1,000?
That's how much I think this Bullet Club show is going to draw.
Oh, yeah. I guess that's true. I guess you're right. I think the cruise might do better then. No, I mean, they're going to... The thing is, like, if they do it in London, I think people out there... I don't want to stereotype these Euros, but I think they're more accustomed to traveling to go see things. Mm-hmm. So I think it would be easier for people all over Europe to go to that. Like Chicago, like I don't care how, like I probably wouldn't do that unless there was like an actual trip involved. So I don't know. Okay, so I guess I have time for this. There's another stat that came out. I don't know where this was from. This was just posted somewhere. I don't know if this is something that the Young Bucks tweeted or just something I saw on the internet. It's not true at all. But either way, it says the total Bullet Club t-shirts that were sold in the last 4 months, and that I guess would be November and then the previous 3 months, on Pro Wrestling Tees are 417,430. If each t-shirt price $25, that equals almost $10.5 million. And that's only for Pro Wrestling Tees. New Japan Pro Wrestling Shop is not included. Do you believe this at all?
That has to be like cumulative. It can't be the past like quarter in a month. There's no way. I mean, if that's the amount of t-shirts, I think I'd see more and more of them in the wild, but I don't. Like, I might have seen once, like ever. 400K is a lot of fucking units to move in.
Yeah,
like,
that's
a trimester or quarter. I don't know.
That's trimester. Yeah. I think triquarter. I don't know, whatever the fuck it's called. I can see it, but yeah, like I never see them in the wild. I live in a big city. I saw one the other day. But I probably honestly see more people wearing like Finn Balor and AJ Styles shirts in real life. But at the same time, one of those dudes we put on the mixtape to make fun of several episodes ago. I'm still subscribed to him, and I watched him unbox his Pro Wrestling Tees order video, and 3 of the 4 shirts he bought were Bullet Club shirts, and they weren't even cool ones. He spent over $100 on them because the whole deal was, if you spend over $100, you get a free autograph, and the autograph was for the Boogeyman, and he already had that autograph. I should have just put that video on the mixtape.
Is it the main event? That guy? Which one?
Yeah, it is the main event. That's his name.
Oh,
yeah.
Man.
Yeah, it's the guy who I think he had some choice words about Alexa Bliss or something. No, that was the other guy. I get these guys mixed up.
That's a ringmaster Mike Goff. I know that guy by name.
Yeah. Main event was the other guy who had a problem with women. Believe it or not. He got 3 of these shirts and they weren't even cool. They were that they they make a I don't even know if it's a parody shirt because I guess it's official, like they know about it, but it's a Bullet Club shirt, but it's the Green Arrow guy from the TV show. The Green Arrow, he was on WWE for a minute.
Yeah.
That?
Stephen Amell, is that his name?
Yeah, he has like his own Bullet Club shirts. It's like Arrow Club or something like that. He bought that, and he bought, I think, a Bullet Club ugly Christmas sweater.
Oh,
and he bought they're doing something now that's they just post FTTR. Do you understand what that means? Or they say something like that. And that is how you know you're making money, when you can just make shit up and have people buy it. It's
I unfortunately know that FTR stands for Fuck the Revival because dudes had that sign up at the APW show I went to. Yeah, they have a little ongoing feud, the Revival and the Young Bucks, if you didn't know.
But it says but they add the extra R because to throw people off. I get it.
Oh, I don't know.
That's real clever.
Yeah, right.
Either way, I really envy their merchandising skills, but I don't envy the people who buy all this shit. But good for them, man. Just good for them.
I mean, I'm plotting on buying some Kenny Omega like Terminator 2 tees for like ulterior purposes, not to wear. But $400K seems kind of wild. I don't know. Maybe. Who knows?
It's mostly wild because if they're really making that much, and that's just saying off the Pro Wrestling Tee site, that doesn't say anything about the stuff they sell in real life or New Japan.
Right.
So they would be getting like mainstream press at this point. They wouldn't just be like this little cool thing that's happening. Like that's like Tamagotchi numbers. That's not just like normal numbers anymore.
Oh man, fucking Bullet Club t-shirt talk in attendance. Virtual Pros really circling the drain this episode. Love it.
Yep. I have one more topic that it's just to lead into our main topic, our Holiday Buyer's Guide.
Yeah.
Because I kind of set my own little narrative for Holiday Buyer's Guide, so I had no time for jokes. So I want to put this in. Welf, who's on he's on another new countdown for his loot box he's never going to get. He still hasn't gotten that loot box, by the way. Either him or Joe or somebody alerted me, but Mandy Leone, she notoriously sells Kiss cards. This is not new news, but she's doing a holiday special. It's either buy one get one free or buy 2 get one free Kiss cards. In what situation do you think you would need 2 of the same Kiss card, Al?
So Mandy Leone, I'm guessing she has more than one Kiss card, right? You don't have to double up on just one style of the Kiss card. You could have different pictures and 2 of the same Kiss. I don't know, man. If I wanted, or if I had,
I mean, they're costing her nothing. Like it costs her the cost of lipstick and cardboard. And
it's not even like a baseball card of her. It's just like on like an index card.
I did some research into this.
Yeah.
Hers are like some Bobo ones where it's just like, you know, where you see those flyers and on the back of the flyer it advertises more flyers, like I get 5,000 of these flyers, like those types of flyers.
Got it.
She gets her Kiss cards from like a place like that where the back says like, do you need cards? Go to this website. And I went to that website and it's just like the brokest website. Like she's their only client, I think.
Oh, man.
Because when I was like, I got to make Virtual Pros Kiss cards sometimes. These look pretty cheap, but I don't trust a website where they only have one client and it's Mandy Leone. But so I imagine she's not paying 2. But yeah, they aren't like Topps Kiss cards or anything. These are just fucking cardboard, a little pink on them, maybe a little picture, and that's about it.
No, I wouldn't buy these. But if there was a BOGO, I mean, I just give both of them out to like, I don't know, listeners, repeat buyers. I don't know. I don't want these things in my apartment. I will say that doing research for our
segment, let's just pretend you're a creep and you like Kiss cards. Do you think that's a good deal, or you would like, oh, I need 2 of these, like I want to lick one and I want to sniff one?
Yeah, I guess if I was a creep, you can just like keep one dead stock and then you can do whatever filthy things you need to do with the other one. Like you can have one framed and then you can just have this, you know, beater copy, I guess, to have around.
That is one of the weirdest pieces of merchandise ever to do buy one get one free on, hands down. It's God bless you, Mandy Leone. Hopefully it works out. Hopefully you make a bunch of money this season, this holiday season.
But yeah, like I was saying, I was doing some research for this 2017 buyer's guide, and I went that lane too. I wanted to see what the Kiss card market was like. If you had to guess whose card was going for the most money in the WWE, who would you pick?
Oh, definitely Asuka.
You'd be wrong. Asuka might be last, actually. The card that's selling the most right now in frequency and in price is Alexa Bliss, followed by Charlotte, then Bayley, then Sasha Banks, then Asuka. I was stunned. I thought Asuka would be at least near the top, but she's not. I tried to find out how much that used Survivor Series shirt went for. I think when you looked at it, it was going for like 1.2, but I can't find what it ended for. So I was kind of bummed about that. I'm guessing like it ended at 2. But you can get a Kiss card Asuka right now for, I think, $40. Buy it now. But I mean, those could be bootlegs. I don't know. The licks on that card might not be legitimate.
Yeah.
Buyer beware.
I'm going to have to do some research.
Up next, your 2017 holiday buyer's guide. What's a cop? What's a drop? The tastemakers of this crap shit fill you in on how to spend your hard-earned dollars this holiday season. Please stay tuned.
You've got mail.
Okay, and we are back on Virtual Pros episode 55. We are here with our holiday buyer's guide. If you're listening to this in real time, you will know Christmas is coming up, and we want to give you a little time to shop for these things. So we made our own little buyer's guide up. I'm sure it's going to be a little jokey. It's probably not going to be too serious, but maybe you'll get some ideas for the wrestling fan in your life. And yeah, so I will start, I guess. So I decided, I was going to go the route of just looking dumb shit up and talking about it. But I do that all day, every day. So I decided to tell a little story with my picks. And so I decided to do, go down memory lane, I guess, and pick out weird wrestling things that I was into at one point in my life, like when I was young, or not even that young. No, I was pretty much young for all these, and they're things that still exist, which boggle my mind, because most of these things, except for the last one, took place pretty much pre-internet, and they're still going strong, and they're still things you can buy today. And I think maybe a lot of newer wrestling fans might not know about this, and I'm an old man, so maybe if you have an old man in your life, or you just want to pretend to be an old man, these are, and what it was like to be a wrestling fan in the 80s and 90s. These are some cool things that you can pick up along the way. So my first one is when I was God, I don't even know, 11 or 12. Like every child at that age, I read every single fucking wrestling magazine that came out. And, I read everything in them religiously. And I read all the ads, and something that advertised in all these wrestling magazines for so long was something called the IWA, and it was called the Imaginary Wrestling Association. And it was before eFeds, because there's no internet. So what this still exists today. This is still fucking been going on, and I'm going to talk about it. It was basically like a write-in wrestling thing where you'd sign up, you would give them $1 a match, and you would pick your match sheet. They have a bunch of matches, or a bunch of moves, I mean, and they give random values to each move. So you make your move list every month, and you pick who you want to wrestle in your league. There's tons of leagues at the time when I was 11 or 12. It was pre-internet, so there wasn't like the internet to take people's minds away from this. So this was going strong. There was like fucking thousands of players, like different leagues and shit. And you basically spend $1 and you could pick like your match, like what kind of match you want to be in, and your finisher. You could name your finisher, and you could draw like your own art and like send it in and be like, this is my guy, this is what he looks like. And I remember, because I was 11, so before you laugh at me, I think my guy's name was like Bloodbath or something like that. Like it was fucking something with blood in it. I know that. And I remember just drawing Deadpool as what my wrestler looked like. And they send that in, they put in their little newsletter, and you get a newsletter like every month, and it'll give you like the match results and how much you won by, and if you won a belt. And they had like all these incentives where like they had like regional belts, and then they had like your like federation championship, and then like beyond that you had like the whole like league championship, and like more and more, and like for each one you won like plaques, and like you might even won money at some point, but I think that was like a pipe dream. But the most coveted thing you won was if you were like the grand fucking master champion of the whole entire IWA, they would draw your picture and put it on the envelope they sent out the newsletters in. And I remember for like I think my whole tenure in IWA, it was some guy who just pretended to be John Elway. So like every so like every envelope I would get would just have like a drawing of some guy who looked like John Elway on it. Like, not really like they didn't like make a caricature of John Elway, but it was just like a guy in a Broncos uniform. Like, and it was fucking, I was all pissed because I wanted to see different guys, but fucking John Elway won every fucking month. But so yeah, so yeah, I did this for a while because I was a fucking bored kid who liked wrestling. And, after a while, I was like, this is costing me and my mom a lot of money. We're sending $1 to some weirdo. And, I'm not getting anything out of it. Before I stopped though, they did different sports too. They did hockey and football and baseball. And, so I signed up for the football one because I was super into football when I was in that age too. And the football one was dumb because you just picked your playbook and you didn't even have to send them money at that point. So I think I sent them $1 in total and just quit after that. And, my playbook was so great. I won a plaque. I don't have it anymore, but I won a plaque from like making it to the playoffs.
No shit.
And it, like had my team name on it and like, like my name. And, it was tiny, but I mean, it was a plaque still. I wish I still had it now, but I don't have it. I never won anything for the wrestling thing, but I'll say, so fast forward right now, it still exists. Just type in playiwa.com. What shocked me is this is still all by mail. Like they have PDFs of the newsletter, I guess. But you still have to, if you want to sign up, you have to fucking legit send a piece of paper that you put pen to pad on. You're using real ink. You're fucking signing up your moves. You're making your guy, and you're sending that shit to a PO box in 2017, almost 2018. And that's how this shit still operates. So, so check that out. Al, do you know anything? Do you know what I'm talking about? You read fucking wrestling magazines back then.
I vaguely remember this because I know the first issue of PWI that I got was like in 88, 89. Mm-hmm. And there was all kind of like, there's a lot of dice game like wrestling.
I'll get into that one next. Not to get it too ahead, but yeah.
Well, yeah, I remember this. Well, I'm perusing this playiwa.com right now. It looks like a website made from, I don't know, like HTML notepad. There's a drawing on here. Looks like Ryback with hair. Yeah. It's interesting, man. It's real interesting.
Yeah. I am shocked it still exists. I'm happy it still exists. I might just take a trip down. If I could have signed up by the internet, I would have did it for a month just to see what it was like. But, I'm not sending anybody anything in the fucking PO box in 2017. So, but if you guys out there, if you even have experience with this or whatever, just tweet at us, VRTL Pros, Virtual Pro 64. We could talk shop. We could, I'd love to hear your strategies because I had some strategies in the end, and I would just love to hear from you. So let me know.
Yeah, what moves did you pick for the most part? Did you pick the scissors grip? Did you pick the snapmare?
I picked the heart punch a lot, which was my downfall because heart punch is never worth a lot. But I just love the heart punch so much. But then some kid or somebody told me, he was like, no, you got to pick the moves that hurt the most in real life, and that was like a good strategy. That's how you won a lot of matches. You can't do dumb shit. You can't be showing pizzazz. You had to do you had to do not heart punches, not atomic drops, which is another big favorite of mine. And before we move on, though, I did forget to highlight. They show, where'd it go? God damn it. They show some of the hold values on there, and it's still like the same moves from when I was a little kid, like airplane spin. No one does that anymore. Atomic drop. No one does that.
Yeah.
Fucking giant swing. I wish people still did that, but not a lot of people do. Gourd buster. That's not even a term people use anymore. But yeah, like it's 90 moves. There's like more moves in like iPhone games. So I don't know, IWA. If you want me to send that money to the PO box, you really need to step your game up. I want to know if John Elway is still a champion or not. But
off top, I would pick bite. And I would pick manager interference. Those would be like my 1 and 2 moves that I would go with for sure.
You also, like, for no extra cost, you could just pick like what your gimmick match was, and like it didn't have any effect. But I always picked barbed wire match, even though at that time I didn't know what the fuck a barbed wire match was. I just thought it sounded fucking cool as hell. I was like, man, barbed wire to wrestling match? That's crazy. And my guy's name was Bloodbath, so I
can see that. I can see this energy.
Yeah.
So I have some honorable mentions. Io Shirai. She's dropping her first gravure book called The Face on December 16th. I'm sure a lot of athleticism will be on display in that book. Hiromu.
I saw some photos from it. It looked very athletic.
Very athletic, right? Very, very athletic. Hiromu, he also dropped an all-white LAJ hoodie, which I think looks pretty great. There's like graffiti on it. There's a lot of like arm hits. Looks pretty sweet. I'm into it. LIJ really closing the year strong after like kind of a bad year for the most part. My last mention is like, if you can get that, I guess it's pronounced Pelwans. They released a recent like Minoru Suzuki shirt. It's like a portrait of him like done like in a Sharpie. Like it looks really weird, but like I love it. I wear that shirt all the time. That might be my shirt of the year. But my first one, as some of you may know, I do some deep dives into the Japanese markets. And there is a man in Japan selling used ring, I guess, not worn, but ring used Atsushi Onita water bottles. These water bottles are from an August 24th, 2017 show. This man is including 4 of them for the low price of $8. That's about $2 a bottle. So this might be like an incredible stocking stuffer for you and fellow wrestling friends.
When you say water bottles, you mean like just like a Poland Spring bottle, right?
Yes, like crushed like plastic water bottles.
Okay.
The thing that got me is that this man left a note, translates to, I am also including water in the mouth, and then an emoji sign with a happy face with its eyes closed. I have an idea of what that means, but like I'm not sure how this water is distributed between the 4 bottles. So maybe once you have these in hand, you could like reenact that scene in Die Hard 3 where like Bruce Willis and Samuel L. Jackson are trying to solve that water cooler puzzle. I don't know. But if you do want some real authentic ring used merchandise for $8, it's a pretty good deal, I feel like. Atsushi Onita used water bottles. Check it out.
So this brings me a little off topic, but I just saw this today, so we got to talk about it. This is a little more. This is a little more in the check the tape territory. That's a basketball podcast you should check out. My friend Daniel hosts it with another person I know named Dan. He's not my friend though, but no, I'm just kidding. He's my friend too. They're both my friends, but they do a basketball podcast called Check the Tape. But anyways, I was watching. There's this guy I subscribe to on YouTube. His name's like Mike Korzimbis or something like that. I don't know. He's a guy, Korzimba, and he has a voice of a kid who wanted to be a sports announcer his whole life, like those annoying kids he went to school with. But anyways, he has like a really interesting basketball channel where he brings up all these facts, a lot of clickbaity sounding shit. But today the other day he had something about the 4 like weird NBA stories. And one of the stories, which I guess is some known thing if you're like a hardcore NBA head, is that Jason Terry has a superstition where if he's playing back-to-back games the night before he goes to bed for the second game, he has to wear the actual game-worn shorts of the team he's playing. So he has to like he has like this whole like fucking network of like, ball boys and shit that get him game worn NBA shorts of different teams from other men that have worn these shorts, and he wears them to bed at night before he plays that team. So I just figured we're going to be talking about ring worn stuff. So that was the first time I've heard it happen in a different sport, and it's an actual NBA player, and he does it. Have you ever heard or anything about this, Al? Because it was mind blowing to me.
No, this is crazy. This is my new favorite NBA story. Jason Terry on the Bucks right now?
Yeah.
Wow. Does it matter what player it is? Like, if he's playing the Bucks, or he's not playing the Bucks, he's on the Bucks. If he's playing the Kings, he's like, yo, I need someone to find Buddy Hield's game-worn shorts, and I got to wear them.
He just needs them worn, and he also said that the Spurs fuck with him because in one game before that, Jason Terry punched Michael Finley when he was on the Spurs. And so since then, they'll fuck with him and just give him practice shorts. And I guess he said he's lost after playing the Spurs because they fucked with him and gave him practice shorts instead of the real thing. So I don't know if he's sniffing them or something, but I don't know, man. Jason Terry, that's the weirdest superstition.
As someone that takes bedtime very seriously, this story grosses me out. This beats my favorite
yeah, dude, do you think
obsessive
he has to be wearing,
NBA player story?
He has to be wearing something under those shorts. Like, I hope he's not wearing them like free ball and some game worn some game worn shorts, man. But,
oh my god.
Guys, if you know a wrestler who has this superstition, let us know. Let us know if there's wrestlers that collect other wrestlers' ring worn gear to wear before big matches.
I mean, I read the story of Caron Butler, like, in order for him to play, like, he would have to, like, chew on straws.
Yeah.
And, like, he would go through, like, boxes and boxes of straws, I guess, like, every game, 82 games a year. And that was pretty nuts to me. But having to wear your opponent's game-worn shorts, I can't deal with that.
Yeah. So my next one is another thing I did. So I moved when I was like 13. I moved, maybe it was 13 or 14. I moved to a different town. I didn't know anybody. I didn't have any friends because I just moved. And I moved like in the middle of school season, so I had even less friends. And I think my mom felt bad for me, so she bought me another game that was advertised in the back of wrestling magazines, and it was called Champions of the Galaxy. And this was a card game where you played with dice, but you could play by yourself, like real fucking loser, where you just like you take these cards and they have like values on them, and you roll the dice, and basically, I moved a lot better than the IWA game. It's like it was fun for like the week I played it before I made friends. But yeah, you just like you have your champions and stuff, and it's like your own little role playing league before video games existed. I'm probably more shocked this still exists than the IWA thing, because that's probably just like a small group of weirdos. But you're really sinking in money to develop and sell these weird cards they make. They still make them. They make. When I was young and growing up, it was just like all fake people, and it took place in the future, like 300 years into the future, and it was like alien wrestlers and shit like that. And now they make like Chikara and like ROH and Evolve and CZW cards, so you could play as like real wrestlers. And I don't really have any interesting stories. There's no John Elways of this league or anything like that, but it was a real shameful thing to do. Even when I was little, like I knew it was kind of dumb, and I just like wished I had like something else to do. But the fact that it still goes on, and there's no young kids playing this because young kids have much more entertaining things to do now. So the fact that I know it's only old men that do this, and really lonely old men that do this, it makes me real depressed. At the same time, it's super cheap. It's like $15 to start out. You get like a starter set. There's more expensive sets for like $30. If you just know you are never going to have human contact again in your life, and you don't really like the internet, you like card games, I would say check it out. It's worth it. Or if you just want to pretend what it was like before the internet to get like your wrestling fix, check it out. It's philsingergames.com, and you can probably look in the back of any Pro Wrestling Illustrated from 1986 on and see their ads, because there was always the back page. And that one day I finally signed up, and it changed my life. Not really, but you know. Do you remember this one? You remember this one, Al? You got to.
This is the one I remember much more distinctly than the mail-in one, just because I remember like that illustration was pretty sweet.
Yeah.
But I was 6 at the time, and like dice games and imagination was not in the cards for me. I was just playing with figures still. The only like mail-in order that I made through PWI was I got the blue steel cage from, I guess, Stanford. It was like an officially licensed blue steel cage. It took like 3 months to get. Like, it took really long, so much so that I forgot that I ordered it.
This was for the big wrestlers, for the big ring?
Yeah, it was the LJN like blue cage.
Man, that's crazy.
I could be imagining. Yeah. It was pretty nuts. But yeah, once it came in the mail, like it came like in this huge like mini fridge-esque box. And man, my summer was fucking crazy after I got that thing. There was a lot of G.I. Joe battles that day for fucking sure.
I never had that. That's crazy.
Yeah, it was pretty sweet. My second one, topical. It's for the season. It's the Stone Cold Steve Austin North Pole 316 holiday t-shirt. I know that these things are printing money for the WWE because they do like city specific ones for like each city that they like run.
Yeah.
Shout out to Joel to Sleep for copying me an Oakland 316 one when SmackDown came to Oracle Arena. I also have a Dallas 316 one that has a Texas flag over the skull, which I think is pretty sweet. This is like essentially like their Hooters t-shirt. It's like, yeah, I've been to this city, and then underscore 316. It's like really stupid, but I can't stop buying them. I think this shirt is like much cooler for the holidays than like ironic, ugly Christmas sweaters. Like, there's a biblical reference on it, so I guess it's kind of topical. But what does it for me is that there's a smoking skull on the back with a Santa hat, which I think is really, really great.
Wait, so it's a holiday one, and it has the separate cities?
Yeah, exactly. Wow. So this one is North Pole 316, but they also have like Oakland 316, LA 316, etc.
But those ones don't have the Santa hat on. I don't know.
No. They just have like a regular like smoking skull. So but the WrestleMania Dallas 316 one.
Before we started recording,
like Texas theme skull.
Before we started recording, Daniel asked me if that was going to be on my holiday list. So he snarkily asked me to. So
no, that shirt is sweet, Daniel. Don't fucking hate. I have noticed though that like they raised t-shirt prices by like $3. Like, I feel like for the past 10 years, WWE shirts have been $24.99, but now they're $27.99. Yeah, what the fuck is up with that, man? It's crazy.
There's still some that are 24, but they're like the ones they know that are going to sell. Those are $27.99. That's fucking bullshit.
That's smart. That's real smart. I like that.
So are we just going to talk about the Undertaker run last, or are we going to get back to that? Is that what's going to go on?
No, you have one last one, right?
Yeah. And then you're going to talk about the Undertaker run?
Man, you're really blowing this punchline, man.
We're going to talk about the Undertaker run after my next one. So my next one is something I unfortunately could not get when I was little, because I was little. And also, there was a certain magazine, I think it was The Wrestler, that advertised for these, because it was only like PWI was for all ages. And I think The Wrestler, you had to be at least a teen to read, because that was the one that had the bloody pictures in it, I think. But you know, they advertised in the back pages for something called apartment wrestling, which if you're too young, if you're too young, apartment wrestling is just chicks in bikinis wrestling in an apartment. That's all it is. But you know, they would have very tantalizing photos that they would put in back of the magazines. You know, girls with huge boobs and like their cleavage hanging out just on top of another girl, dominating her, and like I'd be like, man, I can't wait to get old. Like I'm gonna fucking buy all these tapes. But then by the time I got old, like the internet existed and you didn't need to buy tapes anymore. But I remember getting one when I was like 19 or 20, not in apartment wrestling, but it was like a porn that was like had that kind of theme where it was girls wrestling each other. But this was straight up like hardcore porn though. I mean, at that age, I didn't know what apartment wrestling was. I was like, maybe they have sex with each other. Maybe they just show their boobs. Before when I was researching the subject to get into what I'm going to recommend, I did like, you can go to YouTube and just type in apartment wrestling and they'll show you clips from like the 80s, like what it was. And, it was real lame. Like there's no work rate. These are all like 1-star dud matches. There's just girls just like kind of fighting each other. Not believable at all. They're not even tugging at their boobs or anything. They're just fighting. It was real lame. I was real let down to finally see this shit like 30 years later. So what I wanted to recommend, though, is due to the great internet, you can just make your own apartment wrestling now. They're called custom wrestling tapes. It seems all popular wrestlers do them, and I think they have shame about it, but they still do them. It's basically, there's companies out there that they're a little shady, and you pay them X amount of dollars, and they will direct a quote unquote wrestling match for you. It could be girl on girl or girl on guy or guy on guy. And, you direct them to do certain moves. Probably a lot of, I imagine, thigh holds, a lot of, choking with the thighs, a lot of maybe butt smushes in the corner, stuff like that. A lot of those types of moves, I assume, that go with this. But, I was looking up prices. It's pretty affordable. There's this one company. It seems all of these websites I went to, if you are a fucking creep and you're really into this and you want to do this, just fucking Google custom wrestling tapes and you'll find plenty of websites. But this one I was on, it seems they're all horribly outdated because you go to their roster and, it's all wrestlers that have been made it and have been on beyond custom wrestling. Like, Ember Moon is on one of them and, she's obviously not doing them anymore. Ruby Riott is on one of them. Brian Cage, and I don't think he's doing them anymore. I don't know. But either way, it's a lot more affordable than you think. The guy on guy one seemed to go a little more like those are big production. You got to have some serious cash. But there's this one company that does them. You get a 5-minute tape of two people wrestling for $100. That's chump change, man. Like, you can have them recreate anything. You could have them recreate like the last 5 minutes of like Okada Omega, but like, just oiled up in like fucking one of them just covered in jelly and the other one covered in peanut butter, and then just make them do like the last 5 minutes of that match. Like that's worth $100. I mean, not to jerk off to, but like to own, it would be fucking worth it, I think, in my mind. So yeah, look this up, custom wrestling tapes. If you have a big wrestling fan in your life and he has a favorite move, maybe he really loves that Roddy Piper, Greg Valentine, dog collar match, have them reenact this for like $100. But in whatever way that tickles his fetish, maybe covered in milk. I don't know. Covered in milk and cookies. I don't know. But yeah, then they do get up to like $1,700 though. I think there's no sex in these. Like, there's no, like, it says absolutely no nudity, no like sex, blah, blah, blah. I don't know if that's like a thing to throw off the cops or like that's actually the truth. But the whole deal is that, you can't reproduce these. You're not supposed to show these or anything to other people. This is supposed to be your own little private thing. But at the same time, there's enough of these websites that exist where I think this is like an epidemic. Like, I think thousands and upon thousands of people are getting these tapes made, and I don't know anybody who's ever made one. So, and I feel at this point, I know every single wrestling fan there is. Like, I have to know them all. Like, through Twitter, like, there has to be every single one. So, you guys got to fess up. Like, just by the law of averages, at least 10 of you people that listen to the show own a custom wrestling tape. We won't read your email on the air, but if you want to DM me on private or anything like that, VRTLPros or virtualpro64@gmail.com, just let me know, because I know at least one of you guys, and you could say it's your friends or fucking custom wrestling tape, but one of you guys have to own them. It's not like a fucking hive of like 100 dudes that are paying for all these fucking tapes to be made. So you're out there, you scummy creep. I want to know about you. Fucking write me. Let's talk this out.
Patrons, listeners, if you guys can all pull together and have Al Snow wrestle Michael Bennett in a custom Al versus Mike match, it'd be much appreciated. We'll have a little viewing party for virtual Con Nola. I don't know, man. It'd be pretty funny to watch.
We could pay them, and they could, one of them would wear a shirt that says Al, and the other one would wear a shirt that says Mike, and then cover them in peanut butter and jelly. And then they do a lot of thigh holds, a lot of butt holds, smothering each other, stuff like that.
Yeah, let's make this happen, man. Along with the dice game, this might be also one of the things I remember most, because as a kid, like, I had PWIs, and seeing, like, I don't know, Doug Gilbert bleed profusely, no problem. But when I'd be in the back seat, like, going home, and these ads would show up in the back. I do the move where I'd like have to turn the pages by holding that page down and then flipping to the next page because I didn't want to get caught, because it was just like chicks, like, doing like scissor holds on each other. And I didn't want my my magazine plug to cut off because of that. So,
I think it kind of took me a while to realize what was going on, because like I notoriously didn't read anything I was not interested in. So I think when I was like too young, I was like, I don't read ads. Like I don't fucking care what's going on. So I think it took me a little while to realize that those were naughty tapes that were going on, and that just wasn't like another part of wrestling. But then when I realized it, I was just so curious. But I'm glad I never knew an older boy to get me one, because I would have probably been let down.
My last holiday suggestion for this segment is the Undertaker Thank You Taker commemorative urn. I've been obsessed with this ever since I saw it. It's $90. It's an urn. On the front, it says Thank You Taker. It's engraved, so I guess the craftsmanship is there, with his version of the Jesus cross. On the back, it's a picture of him tipping his cap. It's kind of funny. I guess from like a quote unquote like build standpoint, it's pretty commendable. This urn comes with a wooden casket case that's lined with like satin. It's just all the details make it. One of the selling points though of this urn is that this is sure to be a conversation piece. And although that's true, the conversations that will be taking place will be behind your back for sure, because no one will talk to you if you have this like in your room, on your office desk. No one's speaking to you if you buy this. Like, I have so many questions about this. Like, why was this made? Can you open the urn? If you can open the urn, what's in it? Like, if you work for WWE Shop R&D, please email me. Like, I won't spoil the surprises, but I really need to know, and I don't want to spend $90 on it.
Okay, so it's $90.
Yeah, $90.
Okay. For some reason, so I saw this urn, like you tweeted about this. I saw this urn like a day or two before you tweeted about it. I saw it because when I was highlighting things that they're on their Black Friday sale, that was one of the things I saw. And by then I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. So I stopped tweeting about it. But I saw that and I was like, ooh. For some reason, I thought it was $200. I thought it was $200, but $90 is still outrageous. Maybe it's $200 original. But either way, yeah, I was like, who would buy this? This is outrageous. This is like, not only is it a dumb thing, but it's $90. And not only is it $90, but it's like well crafted. It's not like some fucking foam thing, like, or plastic bullshit thing. This is like something that you're supposed to like hold on to and like be proud of. Like, yeah, that's right, I own that. Like, it's like when they make those plaques that they sell where it's like, here's a plaque commemorating when AJ Styles won the championship, and there might be like a piece of the canvas in it. Like, what nerd is buying those things? Like, who the fuck's buying those? But that urn is even worse, because at least that you could pretend is like real sports memorabilia or classy sports memorabilia. That urn is just like, yeah, man, having $90, that is some balls to charge that. As I say, also this week, not to get too off topic, but they've been like, been having replica belt sales on there too. And so listener Dane sent me an ad that's like, it was like, now we use even better leather on these belts. Like, they're fleecing so many people out of money on those belts, man. Like, it's just insane what they do, where they're just like, we got new leather, so you got to buy it again. Like, it's fucking ridiculous, and people will fall for that shit. And that urn is like, do you think the urn has to be worse than the belt? Like, if you really think about it, or the belts are more money, but they're still more practical than owning an Undertaker urn that says "Thank You Taker" on it.
I would much rather have like the Themes belt collection than one Thank You Taker urn in my living space. Like, no question about it.
Yeah, it's yeah. So out there again, much like custom tapes, if you own this Undertaker urn, let us know. Let us know. It's probably the same person that has the custom tapes made. It has to be.
If you own any of these items and just want to fill us in on what the deal is, please let us know at virtualpros64@gmail.com. Last up, the mixtape with the Jurassic Powers, Minoru Suzuki, AJ Styles, and a lot of Pancrase. Please stay tuned.
Yeah, wake up about at 6, think about money, think about this. I got nothing on my wrist, but I'll take gladly take your bitch. Ayy, who produce that beat? Yeah, ayy, yeah, yes sirree, I did. Ayy. Got that ass on me, sound like I'm from New York City. Airbnb gon' fuck in it, she know that I do the music. Always cooking home, I'm tryna save up, tryna do my friends some favors. Gave her head, she facing backwards. Ay. 27 shows, I go through cities every now and then. I watch the crowd, they jumping, watching me. Cut 2 days ago, I'm just a kid, not old enough to smoke a cig. They wonder what's the recipe. They want me to come home, I can hear the drum roll, but understand I'm out here for a reason.
Okay, we are back once again with Virtual Pros episode 55. This is our Virtual Pros mixtape segment. If you don't know how this works, because you're a new listener, we have a little playlist on YouTube. Just search Virtual Pros mixtape, or sometimes I tweet out the link. It'll be the newest matches added. So all the way on the bottom of the list, we both talk about 2 matches a week, and we review them, have a little yuck 'em ups, little laughs. So for the first match this week is it's a first for Virtual Pros, and it's actually me and Al were kind of on the same wave this week as far as matches we picked, and we didn't even know. It was just kind of like this thing that happened. It was real synergy. So I picked a match from Pancrase from 2002, or I think it's just called Pancrase. Pancakes. You know what it is, guys. And this is Minoru Suzuki versus Jushin Thunder Liger. So from my understanding, I could be wrong about this. I'm sure there's some fucking guy out there, because I know we have a lot of fans that are in this shit. They're just going to be like, you don't know the fuck you're talking about. You don't know anything about that shit. But from my understanding, there were real matches in Pancrase, right? It wasn't all fake.
Yeah, there was some legit like competitions, and there were some works. The works are up for dispute, but they did have legitimate competitions. Yeah,
and from what I think I read, I don't know, because there's a lot of these Japanese fake MMA promotions, but I'm pretty sure this is the one where Suzuki and Frank Shamrock were like the top stars. So usually those matches were fake because they had to win. Like, there was no losing. This match, I'm not sure. I don't think this match was fake, just because I think there would have been a little more competition to it, because this is a textbook match of somebody not knowing what the fuck they were doing, wrestling like a legit, or like fighting like a legit MMA guy. Because Jushin Thunder Liger pretty much opens this match with a rolling wheel kick, which is not a move that anybody is ever going to try in MMA. I don't even know what the fuck he was thinking. Maybe he thought it was a fake fight. I don't know, but it didn't work. Nonetheless, it did not work. Also, if you have no interest in watching this, you got to watch it just to see the very rare appearance of the Jushin Thunder Liger MMA Liger costume, because it's is exactly what you would imagine Jushin Liger would wear in an MMA match. So it's just a streamlined mask with tiny shorts. It's great. So very early on, after Liger whiffs, Suzuki is on the ground, and he finally gets him in full mount, and he is so happy about this, and some man that's very close to the camera just starts cackling like it's the loudest, weirdest cackle ever. And it's so cool because he's just like, oh shit, like he's just like, he knows that's the end of the match. And I mean, pretty much very shortly after that it ends. Liger is pretty much completely fucking dominated in this. After that, Suzuki, like after he wins, he looks so mean. Like when he does his like celebration face, he just still looks like a total fucking mean asshole. And this is a great 3 minutes. It's worth your 3 minutes of time. Fake or not, I don't think this was fake. I think Liger knew what he was getting into, and it didn't work out well for him. What did you think, Al?
Yeah, man, I watched this recently, so I was pretty pumped. What inspired you to pick this match?
I just saw somebody post it, and I was like, "Huh, that's interesting." And then I put it on there.
Yeah, man. So this reminded me of like how like in old MMA or NHB, as real heads would call it, like I remember like getting mount position just meant death. And nowadays, like in UFC, like people get out of mount in like 10 seconds. So it's nice to see that like mount like really meant something back in the day. It was like an old friend. Like Mike has covered, Liger just saying fuck it and throwing like a wish and a prayer by doing a capo kick in a real fight and then getting washed is like the only thing you're going to remember from this fight. Like, trust me, like I love the lonely warrior Minoru Suzuki, but after he wins, like he's acting a little too proud and celebratory. like when he beats Liger, like who's an 0-1 rookie now. And now like, I kind of wish Liger asked for like a run back and just like for real, like whips his ass and like does like a for real like brainbuster the next time they link up.
Yeah, I mean,
it was like a sight to see, but like, man, Minoru is really fucking happy for beating someone that doesn't know how to fight.
I can't understand Japanese, but the post match speeches, it seemed like Liger was still talking shit. Like he kind of still had like a cocky tone in his voice. So I don't know if he was like, "You ain't shit, man. You got lucky."
Yeah. From what I understood, Minoru was like, you're still the best, Liger. You're still the best. But I'm guessing he's being sarcastic. Okay. Who knows? I don't know. Next up, also Pancrase related, funnily enough. TAKA Michinoku versus Keiichiro Yamamiya, Pancrase, 4/27, 1997. I found this match on a blind search like the other week. And I was stunned to find it because I had no idea that TAKA Michinoku ever did MMA. Like, I always wondered why he wore like those high top Greco-Roman wrestling Asics. And like, now I have an answer. Like, maybe he's always wanted to like low key be like a shoot man. So there you go. I'm always learning. This bout took place 2 weeks after he and Great Sasuke and the other M-Pro boys showed out at ECW's Barely Legal. So just to give you guys like a time reference, Yamamiya, he looks like Tajiri's much older established brother. He's also wearing pastel blue underwears and kick pads, which to me is like up there with looks. Like no one that does this is like a shitty like guy. Like TAKA does this with this like lavender. Maybe that's the only guy that does lavender kick pads and panties, but I mean, it's still a great look. So this match starts, and like I'm pretty shocked to see like TAKA Michinoku pull shit like a Muay Thai plum, and like he's like throwing knees. Like his half guard was looking okay. At one point, he like tries what looks to be an Americana, and like then he like even reverses this guy who's like a real fighter, and like puts him in the mount. And like once that happens, I'm like, okay, TAKA. Like then and there, I'm like, I'm hoping he wins. He doesn't. Spoiler alert. He taps to like a pretty painful looking arm submission. But I thought he had a pretty good showing, but it kind of leads me to this question. After seeing these performances, who do you think wins in a fight between TAKA Michinoku and Jushin Liger?
I didn't think that highly of TAKA's MMA and as you did, but Liger is like completely fucking lost, man. Outside, I mean, you gotta give it like Suzuki has to outweigh Liger by at least 50 pounds. No, maybe not 50, but he's in a different weight class, so that's not the only reason Liger lost. But Liger did like TAKA at least looked like he trained at some point in his life to fight MMA.
I have TAKA winning, but I'm always shocked by how buff Liger is. So like once I saw that match, I was like, oh yeah, Liger like actually has a body, and it's not like this anime costume. So maybe like the strength would like easily be in Liger's favor, but I think TAKA has some skills.
Yeah. So like I said, I don't think as highly of TAKA from this. It's so weird because I'm pretty sure I knew this existed. I'm pretty sure this might have been posted on like Death Valley Driver a long time ago or something. Because I have like a sinking feeling I knew he tried MMA at least. At the same time, it's really weird because the first time I ever saw Shinya Aoki, who's a mixed martial arts fighter, for those who don't know, in my mind I was always like, I think that's how TAKA would be an MMA fighter. He would fight like Shinya Aoki. I was completely wrong. He does not. He's getting taken down at will in this. Like this is like real remedial shit where he's just fucking being dominated. At the same time, again, I don't know if this was fake. I don't think they would pace a match this horribly if it was fake, but at the same time, the few strikes that were thrown looked real lame, like real bad. I don't know if they had like an agreement, like don't punch me in the fucking face, but there's definitely parts in this match where, what's this guy's fucking name? Yamamiya. He has like clean shots to fucking TAKA's face, and he doesn't take them. So I don't know if they just have fucking Bushido honor or whatever the fuck's going on, but yeah, I don't know. But this was real boring, so I hope it was real. And yeah, TAKA is no Shinya Aoki, unfortunately. Okay, now to the real shit, the real wrestling. So my last match is again Scott Norton Hercules, aka the Jurassic Powers, versus Brad Armstrong and TNT, aka Savio Vega, from New Japan Pro Wrestling, July 30th, 1993. This probably took place, I think, a week or a couple weeks or months before after the last match we talked about. And I promise, guys, this is leading somewhere. Next episode is going to be the conclusion of the Jurassic Powers storyline. That's going to be the last match. So then if you guys hate this for some reason, I don't know why you would. You're a fucking moron if you do, but this is the second last one. So yeah, if you guys don't know, before Savio Vega became Savio Vega, he was a wrestler named TNT in Puerto Rico, and his gimmick was basically the Great Muta, but he looked like a mini headhunter because he wore like the headhunters costumes, but he was way tinier than them. And you guys know the Jurassic Powers by now. It's Scott Norton Hercules in Japan, crushing tiny, tiny men. This time, they have to go against Brad Armstrong, who is the Road Dogg's brother. And I believe he played such characters as Arachna Man, but that could have been Scott Armstrong. There's a couple Armstrongs. And this is a real weirdly paced match. TNT starts the match, and he only has kick-based offense. And it's just like Savat kicks and super like proto super kicks and just kicks. And Norton and Hercules are having none of this. They're like, we're not selling any of this. Like, this is fucking dumb, you and your fucking kicks. You could go right straight to hell with these fucking kicks. And so pretty much he gets tagged out. He never gets tagged back in. That's it. He comes in to like interfere a couple times, and he gets no sold again, where he's giving like Scott Norton Savat kicks to the back of the neck. And after a while, Scott Norton just turns around and points at him, and he puts the fear of God into TNT. Bless you. He puts the fear of God into TNT, and he just runs away, and you never see him again. And that's why this match is weird, because Scott Armstrong's getting beat to the shit out of him for this whole entire match, and you're like, well, he's going to make a hot tag, and TNT's going to come in and clear house. That moment never happens. It's just a man out there getting the real shit beat out of him. There's a part in this match where Scott Norton from inside of the ring picks up Brad Armstrong, who is standing out on the outside on the concrete, picks him up with his fucking neck and drags him onto the apron, to the outside apron, and then choke slams him over the top rope into the ring, and he lands so horribly. Like, it's just fucking disgusting how bad he lands in this. Outside of that, Brad Armstrong has a glorious mullet, and this is a real, like, I don't know, this is a real good squash match, if you use that terminology. And this just makes me think in like 20 years, there's going to be some idiots making a podcast, and like this year's tag league is going to be their Jurassic Powers, where they're talking about like Sammy Callahan and Juice Robinson like this. But yeah, I'm loving this. I'm gonna be really sad when this ends next episode, but I think we're gonna go out with a bang. What did you think of this match, Al?
Yeah, this copy is a G+. The volume on this video is so fucking low. I had it cranked to like max on my TV. This is a bad trader alert right here for fucking sure. I'm not really sure what TNT's gimmick is, aside from like combining animals face paint from the Road Warriors. He has Mustafa Saeed's outfit and like Great Muta's mist and poses. It's kind of a mishmash. I don't really get it. But yeah, you already brought it up. But Scott Norton picking up Brad Armstrong by his fucking head while he's inside the ring from the floor is like such an incredible moment. Like, I'm surprised I haven't seen this like spot like bit, but like, damn, I love this a lot. Scott Norton then having like his spirit meter on full fucking max after doing this, and then trying to hit a splash off the top rope. He fucking misses, by the way, was even like way, way more incredible than that chokeslam. This match was okay. Like, it wasn't as fun as the last Jurassic Powers match that we watched, but now I kind of want to make a Scott Norton shirt. Like, man, he's really fucking good, dude. Like that guy a lot nowadays. Last match of the night, Minoru Suzuki again versus AJ Styles, 8-1, 2014, G1 Climax at Korakuen Hall. Initially, I picked this match for the mixtape as it was like the free match of the week posted by New Japan's like YouTube channel. But then they got it taken down. I was pretty bummed out. But luckily, Mike found another version.
A really crap.
But I mean, for those that have, yeah, it's not good. So what I did was I just watched it on New Japan World. Yeah. And like, if you haven't already, like, it's worth your $9.24 a month. Like, New Japan World's the shit. I think this match is like most famous for being Dave Meltzer's match of 2014. But if you had to guess, what do you think the highest rated Dave match was for WWE
of all time
this year for 2014?
For this year?
No, for 2014.
How does that?
2014.
Oh, 2014?
Yeah.
That was way after Cena, CM Punk, right? Yeah. God, I don't even know. Who do they even have in 2014? I couldn't even say.
The highest rated WWE match that year was NXT TakeOver between Sami Zayn and Adrian Neville. I think this was the match where Kevin Owens turns and power bombs him on the ramp. That match was really fucking good. On paper, though, going back to this match, I think this is like such an amazing contrast of styles with Suzuki's catch wrestling versus like Styles' USA indie man offense. Like, I'm watching this on repeat and like I'm realizing that like it's kind of super hard for me to talk about this match and make it entertaining because like everything about this match is so fucking good and like it's much easier to make fun of like bad wrestling matches. Like, to me, like in this match, everything's like perfectly laid out. The pace never slows down. I'm loving the mashup of styles. I will say that like I think I have a trigger like that's similar to CZW fans' arm blading, and I think it's finger torture. Like whenever like fingers are getting like manipulated, like I kind of cringe really hard. And this match has that on full fucking display. Like anytime I see it, I'm always like, man, if Minoru Suzuki did that to my hands, I'd tap right now. Like I don't care for like 2 minutes into the match. Like if you're bending my index finger that way, I don't want to wrestle anymore. Mind you, like this match was like 3 years ago. And like both of these guys are still like at the top of their game. Like they might have gotten even better. So I kind of think it's like a testament to how great both of these guys really are. Incredible match. If you haven't seen it, watch it. Well-deserved match of the year for sure. What'd you think, Mike?
Yeah, I had never seen this before because I only started watching wrestling last year, so I never watched it. But no, I just never got around to watching this. But I was interested in seeing it because I think Dave Meltzer mentioned like recently on his show, I think when they were talking about the Hall of Fame shit, that I wouldn't even bring up the Hall of Fame stuff, but that like he was like, yeah, I mean, he was talking about this match and he was saying how like this match ain't even shit anymore, and it was like his match of the year, but how crazy quality the matches of New Japan are now, and that this match is just like kind of like a regular match for them. And so I was kind of like interested in seeing that if that's true, and I don't think that's true. I think this match is obviously well above average of regular match, and I like, much like Al, like it's hard to talk about this match in an entertaining way because it's just kind of like it's a pretty great match and it's just like really, really good wrestling shit. What I do have to say is that AJ's hair looks real bad in this. This is maybe his worst looking hair, which is like a little too long to look cool, but too short to not look like a doofus. Basically, like I don't know. It's in a real bad spot at this. He should have wore like, I don't know, like a wave cap or something, or did something with it because he looks real dumb. He does that. I guess that's the phenomenal forearm, but I always just think it's a jumping punch that he does. But he does that shit too much. Like that's the one gripe I have about this. He does that a lot in this match. Like he's going to that move a lot, as if like you can't telegraph that move a mile away. But he's doing it a lot, and it's kind of annoying. But I guess people like it. This match is, I think it's like, not to get too corny, but I think it's like pure proof that you need like a lot of elements to have like a really great match. You can't just be, oh, these two good wrestlers are having a good wrestling match, so it's great. And I think that's like I watch PWG now and then. I think that's my main problem with it. It's just like, it's a lot of great wrestling matches, and that's that. Like, there's nothing to them. There's no real like extra, I don't know what to call it, like extra spice on these matches. Basically, like it's just two guys having a good wrestling match for 20 minutes and then ends and then they go away. But like this match, it's like it's in a tournament, and these guys, like, even though they don't, they're not talking on the microphone, they have like established characters within their like wrestling styles, and like the crowd is like going ape shit over this, and I don't know, it just like works out really well. So I think that's like why matches like this become matches of the year over just some weird independent shit that was really good. And I don't think people realize that as much anymore when they fucking hound Meltzer on his match ratings like an asshole. And outside of that, this is probably like the quickest 20-minute match ever. Like when this ended, I was like, that was it? Like, it seemed like I just put this match on. So this match holds like a really fast pace, and without being too ridiculous, like usually fast-paced matches are. This is a fast pace, but not in the bad way. It's just like all action. There's no bullshit. It ends, pretty much. I hardly ever say matches end too quickly, but it could have went like 5 more minutes and I would have been fine with it, but it still ends at like a great time. So, yeah, this is a perfect match through and through. So if you've never seen this is definitely worth watching.
That was episode 55 of the Virtual Pros podcast. Kind of a jumbo episode. Nice. If you haven't already, follow us on Twitter and Instagram at VRTL Pros. Hit us on SoundCloud. Hit that heart. I like it. Hit us on iTunes. Leave a review. And if you haven't, download that Bloody Disgusting app. Have all 55 episodes in the palm of your hands. Mike, any last words?
Hey, hit me up. Let's get that IWA tag team going. We'll get that championship away from John Elway. Let's do it.
Hit me up. Let's get some custom videos made up of Mike and I. I really want to see it. Tune in for episode 56 in 2 weeks. Thanks.